The film opens up in a colorful membership, with Luli, a younger girl, stepping in. Alongside her boyfriend Diego, she talks to her boyfriend and emphasizes the importance of the imminent day while she's set to attain her lifelong aim of turning into a doctor. Luli is a decided and hard-running man or woman. However, she has an outstanding flaw: she's no longer the nice at listening, frequently preoccupied with her very own mind. Diego is eager to discuss his anxiety as a scientific scholar. However, Luli appears oblivious and absorbed in her personal international. The former, grappling with the experience of despondency, opens up about his desire to drop out of medical school, but Luli dismisses his issues and drags him onto the dance floor. Following their dance, Diego makes every other try and divulge heart's contents to Luli, approximately his troubles, but she seems more engrossed within the eating place menu than in Diego's phrases. Whilst Diego shares about the excruciating leg pain, Luli goes ahead and orders a spread of dishes, which include shrimp and fowl thighs. Irritated, Diego leaves the desk and moves up a conversation with Dr. Paula at the bar, which stirs Luli's jealousy. Later, whilst Diego returns to the desk and begins eating, he starts feeling sick. He questions Luli if the dishes incorporate the shrimp, which he's allergic to. Rather, Luli is blind to his allergic reaction, in spite of Diego's repeated tries to tell her, understanding the severity of the state of affairs. Luli calls for an ambulance to hurry Diego to the sanatorium. It's at this second that Diego comprehends the volume of Luli's self-absorption and selfishness. Enraged, with the aid of her, brush aside for his well-being, Diego makes the difficult decision to element methods along with her proper there inside the ambulance. He's aware about how Luli habitually fails to be aware of something he says in protection. Luli vehemently denies any knowledge of his allergic reaction, but Diego mentions that he is informed her countless times. After breaking apart with Diego, Luli is surprised due to the fact she nonetheless doesn't suppose she did anything incorrect. The subsequent day, Luli's mother learns about the breakup with Diego and shows they patch up again. Our female ignores her phrases and heads to the hospital for her first day as a physician. On her way, she meets Julio, her formative years pal, and they chat in brief before she rushes to the bus stop. Soon Luli arrives at the health center and meets her quality buddy Vanessa. The two communicate approximately. Diego and the former mentions him dropping out of clinical college, but to her surprise, she reveals Diego alongside Paula, and this makes Lulu a bit jealous, despite the fact that she is aware of they may be no longer relationship, and Paula is a lot older. In the course of the day, Luli notices that Paula pays lots of interest to Diego. She follows them any place they go and attempts to discover what's absolutely happening among them. In the course of an data session at the health facility, all of the novices analyze that they can't deal with a patient without a greater experienced health practitioner gift, even though they apprehend the situation. Despite this, Luli does not pay attention and almost administers the incorrect remedy to a patient. Happily, Paula notices her and intervenes, saving the day, and Luli feels embarrassed. She makes Lily take into account that one wishes to check the affected person's history before administering any remedy to them. Afterward, Paula asks more than one inquiries to the institution of latest doctors, and Diego and Luli supply the best solutions at the same time. With this, they get a case concerning a 60-year vintage alcoholic named Oscar to take care of his scientific method. They take him to the MRI laboratory for checks and fit him inside the gadget. Diego even tells Oscar to press the emergency button if He feels something weird inside the device which will stop the method, but in the course of the tests the lighting fixtures and PC screens begin to glitch, the laboratory assistant mentions a software program problem and tells Diego and Luli to attend outdoor whilst he goes and calls the technician, but Luli as common does not pay attention and rushes into the lab to check on Oscar. Diego attempts his pleasant to forestall her and follows her inside the lab. Luli believes that if they consume extra time then Oscar might be affected by the radiation inside the gadget and walks toward the machine to press the stop button regrettably. As quickly as she touches the gadget there happens a blast and both of them get an electric-powered shock inside the next scene. Whilst Lily wakes up, she's in a sanatorium bed and Vanessa is looking after her. Lily's first query is about whether Paula and Diego are dating. Vanessa assures her that they're no longer. However, Lily starts hearing her friend's thoughts along with Vanessa's perception that they might be dating. The latter additionally informs that Diego is resting beside them and Paula is taking incredible care of him. In a country of misunderstanding, Luli comes to a decision to relaxation. But whilst Vanessa tactics Paula to inform her approximately Lily's circumstance and no one is asking, Luli escapes from the health facility in a rush. Along the manner she by accident touches human beings' hands and can sincerely hear their mind. This overwhelms her and on a bus she can't cope with hearing all of us thoughts, leading to a panicked outburst following the health facility incident. Luli makes a decision to attend Julio's volleyball practice. The latter may be very glad to see her in the courtroom and specializes in his practice. She urges him to provide his first rate and he does, getting selected for the final in shape. But Julio denies his train's request to take the placement and mentions that he's feeling ache in his calf. The coach then urges him to perform a little clinical assessments and affirm his decision. After this, Julia strategies Luli and the latter asks him why he did not take the role provided to play. Julio mentions his harm, but Luli overhears him privately confessing that he is faking a leg damage to keep away from gambling within the finals because of worry of failure in the front of the crowd. Later, Julio can pay a go to Luli at her residence and has dinner with her family. Luli's mom talks to Julio and suggests he and Lily get into a dating, stating that they have been fine friends considering that adolescence and they realize every other very well. Following this, Julio enters Luli's room and as they speak their love lives, Luli by chance reads Julio's mind and discovers that he's gay. This revelation shocks Julio and he realizes that Luli possesses the strength to examine minds. They comply with hold each those revelations a mystery. However, whilst Vanessa all at once indicates up and inquires approximately their communication, asking each of them in the event that they have been making out. Julio panics and blurts out Lully's thoughts, analyzing potential. In reaction, Luli additionally well-known shows to Vanessa that Julio is gay to talk approximately the remember. In secret, the three of them head to a close-by bridge after confirming the authenticity of Luli's newfound ability. Through some testing, Vanessa turns into satisfied of its truth and indicates she studied Diego and Paula's minds to discover out approximately what is happening among them. Lower back on the clinic, Luli encounters Diego and to her wonder he pulls her towards him and kisses her. It seems like the latter has no recollection of ending their courting in and try to recognize his thoughts by way of touching him. Luli realizes that she cannot study his mind. Pressured by means of this discovery, she talks to Paula, who explains that the coincidence that happened in the MRI room erased Diego's reminiscence of the previous day, such as their breakup. Hearing this, Lully contemplates informing Diego approximately their breakup but ultimately makes a decision. In opposition to it, she then touches Paula's hand to know what she thinks about Diego and, to her surprise, discovers that the senior doctor sees Diego as a son. Diego's father is Paula's colleague and, as she's recognized him on account that his adolescence, she cares about him lots after this revelation. Lully gets comfortable and focuses on her studies. Lully realizes she can now give attention to her work and successfully make use of her newfound thoughts analyzing capability to perceive when sufferers aren't being truthful and find the truth of their signs and symptoms. She accurately diagnoses 2 patients. In comes admiration from Paula and, serving as an example for the new medical doctors, nevertheless, Lily struggles with the overwhelming revelation of listening to people's unspoken mind, which feels like an invasion of their privacy. She then confides in Vanessa approximately the feeling, and the latter encourages her to include her electricity. However, Lully remains determined to rid herself of it as quickly as viable. Day after today, ease her responsible feelings. Julio and Vanessa take her to a spiritual magnificence, wherein she encounters a fortune teller who makes correct predictions approximately her existence to her horrific luck. Whilst the fortune teller holds her hand, Lully realizes that the fortune teller is a fraud and walks out of the place. Later, the trio is going on a club date in which Lully encounters Diego and her other colleague Ricardo. Vanessa absolutely has an overwhelm on Ricardo and tactics him regardless of him sitting and speak me to another girl. Helena. Vanessa's flirtation with Ricardo leads his date Helena to depart. Ricardo then talks to Vanessa and reveals that Helena is losing out of clinical college to move abroad, making the latter to feel sorry for her. As they converse, Julio presentations an interest in Ricardo. However, he isn't positive if Ricardo feels the identical for him. Inside the subsequent scene, Lily is with Diego and